This social media influencer is probably one of the most lean and body fat free human beings I've ever seen at his specific age. You see, Toady is a fitness influencer who gained fame quite quickly from a single post that many of you have probably seen by now.
Here's my full day of eating to look like an anime character. Waking up, hydrating 2 litres of water and a monster. First meal of the day around 5 p.m. Yogurt, fruit, dinner, 3 pieces of a lean cut steak, egg whites, 2 eggs. That's it.
Obviously, there is something that doesn't look quite right about his physique, and you'd be right to guess that it's his body fat percentage. It's basically nil. But on top of that, he's very under-muscled as well. His lean mass doesn't seem to be that great. He looks muscular because he's lean enough to be an anatomy chart for a study, but that's really it. He looks entirely malnourished. But it goes so much farther than that. You and I could look at this and say, all right, that person probably has an ideal of what a good body looks like. But no, it is his psychology at its core that has problems here, because he idolizes his visuals to an extent where he truly does believe that his facial aesthetics have improved from being completely malnourished.
Okay, so if you want to improve your facial aesthetics, these are the 3 things you need to do. First of all, ditch off that junk food. So first, we need to drop body fat. How do we do that? We do that with daily cardio, 10k steps, and tracking your calories daily. Do this and you will have a glow up. Exactly what I did to go from this to this. Now it's your turn.
He literally has the opinion of an elite look being completely lean, void of any fat in your face, instead of a well-rounded and healthy person. And the other problem that I'm noticing is as I go through his content, it seems that he sounds tired. In almost every video, he sounds exhausted. And if you've ever been extremely lean, like really, really lean before, you know that that exhaustion is bone chilling. It spreads throughout your life, your work, your relationship. You can't sleep correctly. Every time you wake up, you want to go back to bed. It is a exhausting exhaustion. Your social battery is drained. Your capacity to be emotional with other people is completely drained, and you become apathetic. The only reason that I know this is competing in bodybuilding. Being in shows and getting so lean that there is no body fat on my body, to at least most people's standards. Of course, technically there is, but the state of living at that point is miserable. Like, it is miserable. Your social skills diminish. Your ability to produce good work diminishes. Your ability to represent yourself in a healthy and good way to the society around you is completely diminished. Even your ability to react and respond to things that are happening in your environment becomes so diminished. I mean, getting up to go get water becomes a calculation in your mind of how much you have to move your body to do that, because it is exhausting. You lumber around feeling heavy. Every limb feels like it weighs 50 pounds more than it actually does. It's not a good state to contain yourself in 24/7. And it's certainly not a good state to maintain yourself in while you're this young. Now, I do believe this guy to be natural. I think he's completely natty and not on the sizzle. I could be very wrong, but I do believe he's probably natural looking at the amount of lean mass that he has on his body. He doesn't claim it anywhere, but I would assume so. Knowing that, the effects of being lean and malnourished whilst natural are absolutely horrific. And you have everybody in his comment sections telling him this exact same thing, saying, bro, you got to eat more. You're too young for this. To explain how the HPG axis is affected via calorie restriction, let's just talk about, naturally what's occurring in this state, because it's really important, especially when you have a kid going through this. I mean, that is, the signals for maturation and development of his body that are being manipulated through the activities that he's doing. So first, your testosterone production starts in your brain, not the testicles. And a lot of people think that it starts in your testicles because there's intratesticular testosterone. Say that 10 times fast. It's kind of fun. Intratesticular testosterone. Anyways, you get the point. You would assume the testosterone comes from those guys down there. I don't know why I'm pointing at mine. They're the size of walnuts, but it's the same thing. No, it comes from your brain. And when you get too lean or have any form of malnourishment, which mind you, there's about 150 essential micronutrients in the human diet. When these are not hit, we are considered to be malnourished. And to hit all of those micronutrients for a male, or at least the daily recommended values of them, calories need to be somewhere around 2,400 per day. So as energy availability and micronutrient availability drop beyond what is considered to be normal and metabolic processes have to slow to sustain oneself, it triggers your hypothalamus to reduce GnRH, gonadotropin releasing hormone secretion. With gonadotropin releasing hormone going down, you have the expression of lowering luteinizing hormone and follicle stimulating hormone. These are the guys that basically come from the pituitary gland and tell the testes to start producing testosterone and also like spermatogenesis and things like that, but you get the point. Essentially, your brain stops communicating as well with your testes because it's trying to conserve energy and reduce metabolic demand in a, really simplified way of explaining things. But that's only one factor. You have cortisol, which clearly, very representatively increases in moments of starvation, whether, that's clinical starvation in terms of just quantifying it by somebody's ability to enter a calorie deficit, or real starvation. Lower energy intake, especially combined with hard training, will consistently increase cortisol. Cortisol, interestingly enough, directly inhibits gonadotropin releasing hormone and luteinizing hormone. Generally, it also increases sex hormone binding globulin, something that will bind to the testosterone that we have available in our blood serum and make it inert. As well, cortisol often shifts the metabolism into a funny situation where it starts preferentially eating lean mass, or at least this is what we presume, compared to fat mass. What does this look like long term? Well, not even long term, even short term. You can ask anybody who's ever dieted hard. It doesn't take but a few weeks to start feeling the repercussions of this. Low libido, erectile dysfunction. As a male, it's a massive problem. Oftentimes you experience very clear and clinical depression. You'll typically experience poor sleep. That poor sleep bleeds into muscle loss because there's been some really great studies, in fact, on sleep duration and the preservation of lean mass during a calorie deficit. And it was found that very clearly when you give somebody 8 or more hours of sleep opportunity, they lose primarily fat mass. When you give somebody 6 or less hours of sleep opportunity, they lose primarily lean mass. It's a very interesting thing. Now, obviously, anabolics and other enhancements shift this quite a bit, and it's why bodybuilders are able to sustain the larger than life physiques that they do have. But in this instance, you're ending out net negative. Further compounding this, you have low testosterone now, which is an anabolic agent in and of itself. And what's so crazy is he's saying that he is happier more now than ever before. But I just can't see that as anything else other than just some kind of crazy cope for an eating disorder, because in the previous photos he keeps showing, in the previous videos, he looks totally healthy, totally fucking fine. He's actually jacked. I mean, he's saying that he only eats 3 pieces of steak a day.
So here's my secret to being absolutely shredded. You're gonna wanna listen. I have 3 pieces of steak every single day, and I have done for the last year. Try it out. You might wake up looking like an anime character.
That's concerning in and of itself because it's generally somewhere around, depending on the cuts of steak, looks like maybe a flank steak or something of that nature. We got 800 to maybe 1,000 calories. That's it. The average male basal metabolic rate is 1,690 calories. And if that is the case, this guy is just existing, doing nothing. He wouldn't have to move an inch, not a muscle, not even blink, and he would be in a calorie deficit. And you look at his before, the physique is great. Like, dude has an amazing physique, like actually amazing physique. Genetics are great. He's peaked, like he looks fucking awesome. He's definitely not in a calorie deficit to an extreme degree, but the dude has abs. He's got vascularity. He's got big round shoulders, a nice chest. Like the man is developing muscle mass and looks good. He goes from that to a skinny, emaciated version of himself. And you can't help but wonder, is this really just a calorie deficit, or are we talking about something a lot deeper here? And this goes into a much larger topic, which is systemic in the industry, and it is growing, I assure you. The most recent study here shows that out of 178 athletes, 78% of them reported at least having a moderate risk of developing an eating disorder, and 46% had or were at high risk for developing an eating disorder. And a lot of this is curated through the drive to be on social media, the public image. It's so much greater. You can have somebody who would have had a group of 10 people really give a shit about what they think that's now being viewed by millions of people. That creates a dynamic in one's mind that is saying, hey, I need to sustain this. This look is above all else. And if I go out to eat with my friends, I'm going to lose the look and everybody's going to notice, and I am going to lose the fame and popularity that I have. I'm going to lose the appreciation. I'm going to lose the ideal that people have created around me as a person. It's crippling, and it happens the inverse too with bigorexia. People wanting to be bigger because they're the bigger guy on Instagram and everyone knows them as the big guy. So I can't get off of steroids now because I have to be the big guy. It's a crippling thing, and another reason why I think social media is such an interesting, ambiguous, all-consuming thing that has damaged a lot of our society. But that's, for another video or something. I don't even know. I need to start multiple channels here to talk about shit. But hey, our sponsor, Kolton, could really help this man out with some hydration. This is my favorite flavor, you guys. A really good product for hydration. I drink this basically every morning and then every workout. The actual distribution of minerals here is clinical grade. It is very effective. It's better than any of the bullshit that you can buy off the shelf in the store. And it's honestly the best tasting product I drink outside of Monsterola. And I highly recommend it. You can use code Coach Kolton. The link will be down in the description. Plug away. That's what I'm doing here. I try to do it towards the end of my videos so you guys don't have to deal with it in the intro of the videos. And I hope you listen. I appreciate you. I also appreciate everyone who's subscribed. Most people who watch my videos are not subscribed, and YouTube has been like bam, bam, bam to my viewership lately. It happens. There's seasons in YouTube. It's kind of a weird thing. I'd appreciate if you subscribe, share with your friends, comment down below. It means the world to me. And if you are in a position like this guy is, where you feel that eating less is going to net you a better goal, and you're already very lean, and you're already very, 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 uncomfortable, trust me, the only reason that you should ever be getting that lean is one, for either a movie role, a bodybuilding show, or a photo shoot. Outside of those momentary events, it's not worth it. And no one cares enough to where you should think it's worth it. I don't care if this kid gains 10 pounds. I would want to see that for him. I would want to see a transformation like that. And if you feel that the need to constantly self-restrict is so great that it's insidious, it's all over your life. You can't go out with your friends without thinking about first how many calories you're going to have to consume, and it becomes this sort of anxious thing to think about. Going out, you have to worry about how you're going to pack food or make your way around the world because you're worried about eating too much. Don't. Stop, okay? I promise you, a physique is valorant effort. It's something that's beautiful, and it takes a lot of true desire and effort to craft. I recognize that. I've maintained an amazing physique traveling all over the world. I eat almost everything I want, and my desires obviously fit into a different category where preferences aren't necessarily leading to an unhealthy, but motherfucker likes some McDonald's, you know what I mean? You can eat out, find balance, okay? It takes work, and it takes an ability to separate yourself from your ego, but when you do that, you really do set yourself free from a lot of these concerns, anxiousness, and panic about how you need to look for anyone. Look the way you want to look for yourself. And as long as that's healthy and non-destructive, you will be okay. Hope you have a good day, folks.